Okay, so you've given us a ton to think about this time around.
Yeah.
It's all about how we're figuring things out these days.
Right.
Like we've got mobile surveys, data visualization, all those charts and graphs, and then
Oh, yeah, those were cool.
the big one, right? AI and machine learning.
Absolutely. That's where it's at.
Feels like everything's changing so fast.
It really is a lot to keep up with.
So in this deep dive, we want to cut through all the noise
That's the goal.
and really try to find those nuggets of insight.
Like what's actually important, right?
Exactly. What matters most and maybe even surprise you a bit along the way.
Uncover something unexpected.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think what we're really trying to do is understand how we understand things.
Whoa, that's meta.
It is, kind of, right? We're looking at
Yeah.
how we collect data differently now with mobile platforms.
Yeah.
And then how we're using visuals to make sense of it all.
Like literally seeing the patterns.
Yeah, exactly. And then how AI and machine learning are taking it to a whole other level.
Like doing analysis that we never could have done before.
Exactly.
And what's really exciting is the mix of sources you've brought in.
Oh, yeah.
We've got these articles that are deep dives into the tech side of data analysis.
Awesome.
So not only can we see where things stand right now,
Right.
but we can also kind of peer into the future a bit.
I love that, like getting a glimpse of what's next.
Totally. And the goal is that by the time we wrap up, you'll not only know what these tools are,
Right, that's just the first step.
but you'll really get why they matter so much.
The so what, right?
Exactly. And how they're changing the game
Mhm.
for businesses and organizations everywhere.
They're making a huge impact.
It's about how we gain knowledge, how we adapt.
And ultimately, how we make smarter decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Dive in.
All right, so first things first.
Okay.
We need data, right?
But always need the raw material.
Exactly. And that's where mobile surveys come in.
That's a big one.
What's fascinating to me is the shift we're seeing.
Oh, it's like everything's becoming mobile first.
It makes sense. Everyone's on their phones.
Right. And for gathering data, it's a game changer.
Totally.
So with mobile surveys,
Okay, let's break it down.
the data is literally captured in real time.
Like instant feedback.
As soon as someone hits submit,
It's there, ready to be analyzed.
it's wild, right?
It is. We're not waiting weeks for mail-in surveys anymore.
Or those long, drawn-out phone calls.
Ah, I used to hate those.
Me too. And it's not just about speed, is it?
No, it's so much more than that.
What about reach? Mobile surveys can tap into people we could never get before.
Especially those who are hard to reach through traditional methods.
Exactly. And think about the cost savings for companies.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
All that administrative overhead, the logistics of printing and mailing.
It adds up.
Con.
So much more efficient.
And here's another thing that surprised me.
What's that?
The data quality actually gets better with mobile surveys
Really? Why is that?
because we're cutting out the middleman, literally.
Less manual data entry means less chance for human error.
Makes sense. Humans make mistakes.
We do. And because people are often taking these surveys on their own time,
Right, when it's convenient.
their responses can be more thoughtful and accurate.
They're not rushed or pressured.
Exactly.
I hadn't considered that.
And get this. One of the articles said that mobile survey response rates are 40% higher than traditional methods.
That's massive.
That's huge. It shows how comfortable people are with their phones.
Yeah, it's second nature to them.
Totally. And I wonder if part of it is the immediacy. Like you answer a few quick questions and you're done.
It's easy, it's familiar.
Right. It's part of our everyday lives.
But higher engagement also means we have to be really smart about how we design these mobile surveys.
Ah, that's a great point.
You can't just cram a long, complicated survey onto a tiny screen.
Right. People will tune out.
Totally, they'll get frustrated and abandon it.
So the articles highlight some key principles for good mobile survey design.
All right, let's hear them.
First up, keep those questions concise.
Short and sweet.
Exactly. Focus on one idea at a time.
No jargon, no super long sentences.
No one wants to read a novel on their phone.
And it helps keep people engaged.
Keeps their attention, which is like gold these days.
Yeah, it's precious.
So next up, the user interface needs to be super friendly.
Ah, this is so important.
Think about how we use apps.
Yeah.
It has to be intuitive.
Easy to navigate.
Buttons that are big enough to tap without accidentally hitting the wrong one.
Yeah, that's always frustrating.
A clean layout that's not visually overwhelming.
You don't want it to feel cluttered.
Exactly. Every detail matters.
And of course, we can't forget about device optimization.
Right. There's so many different phones out there.
Different operating systems, screen sizes.
It has to work seamlessly on all of them.
That's where responsive design comes in.
The survey adjusts automatically to the device.
So everyone gets a good experience.
Consistent experience no matter what phone they're using. And last but not least, something that seems really simple, but is actually super powerful.
Okay, what's that?
Progress indicators.
Ah, those little bars that show you how far you've come.
Exactly. It's about managing expectations.
People like to know where they are in the process.
And one of the articles said that completion rates can plummet by 50% if a mobile survey goes over 15 questions.
Wow, that's a big drop-off.
It is. People have limited time and attention spans, especially on their phones.
So short and sweet is the way to go.
Absolutely. So mobile surveys are changing the way we gather data.
For the better, it sounds like.
More speed, wider reach, better data quality.
And higher engagement.
But only if we design them with the mobile user in mind.
Keep it simple, keep it engaging.
Exactly. Okay, so now imagine we've got all this data pouring in.
All right, what do we do with it?
How do we make sense of it?
That's where the magic of data visualization comes in.
Data visualization is like...
How would you describe it?
It's like taking all those numbers.
Which can be really overwhelming.
Totally. And turning them into a story.
A story that we can actually understand.
Yeah, we're uncovering the hidden trends, the patterns.
The relationships that would be lost in a sea of numbers.
It's about simplifying complexity.
Making it accessible to everyone.
So that people can actually use the information to make better decisions.
Because data without insight is useless, right?
Absolutely. It's just noise.
So let's talk about some of the basic types of visualizations.
Okay, the classics.
We've got charts, of course.
The old standbys.
Bar charts for comparing different categories.
Like which product is selling the most.
Exactly. Line graphs for showing trends over time.
Like how have sales been growing over the past year?
And pie charts for visualizing proportions.
How much of the market share do we have?
Easy to grasp visually.
Totally. Then we move on to maps.
Maps are great for showing data that's tied to location.
Geographic maps, obviously.
Those are the ones we all know.
They show us where things are.
Like where our customers are concentrated.
Exactly. Then there are choropleth maps.
Those use color shading to represent different values.
Like sales performance by state.
Darker colors for higher sales, lighter colors for lower sales.
Easy to see the patterns.
And then we have heat maps. Those are great for visualizing density or intensity.
Like showing website traffic or customer activity in a store.
Hotspots, literally.
And finally, point maps.
These are simple but effective.
They just mark specific locations.
Like customer complaints or where certain demographics are clustered.
Each type of map helps us see different aspects of spatial data.
Powerful stuff.
And then we can't forget about dashboards.
Dashboards are like mission control for data.
They pull together all the key metrics
from different sources
into one central view.
Real-time monitoring of what's happening.
And they're often interactive, right?
Oh yeah, you can drill down into the details.
Customize them to see what you need.
The sources mentioned some popular tools for creating dashboards.
Yeah, like Tableau.
That one's known for its analytical power.
And it's user-friendly, which is always a plus.
Then there's Power BI, which integrates really well with Microsoft products.
And for a free option, there's Google Data Studio.
Super versatile.
It's amazing how accessible these tools have become.
Anyone can be a data analyst these days.
But just having the tools isn't enough, right?
No, you have to know how to use them effectively.
Effective data visualization hinges on some core principles.
The fundamentals.
First and foremost, clarity.
Keep it simple, keep it clean.
The visuals need to be easy to understand.
Clear labels, no clutter.
Choose the right chart type for the data you're presenting.
Like the articles pointed out.
A bar chart is great for comparing categories.
But a line chart is better for showing trends over time.
Use the right tool for the job.
And, of course, accuracy is non-negotiable.
Can't stress that enough.
The visualization has to reflect the data truthfully.
No misleading interpretations.
Double-check your calculations.
Be transparent about any limitations in the data.
Use appropriate scales and axes.
So people don't get the wrong idea.
And finally, relevance.
What are the key takeaways?
Focus on those.
Don't overwhelm your audience with unnecessary details.
Tailor the visuals to highlight the most important information.
And remember your audience's level of understanding.
That's key.
Puff Dare had this great saying, maximize data, minimize non-data elements.
It's about cutting through the noise.
Focus on the essence of the story that data is telling.
So data visualization takes all those numbers.
Which can be really intimidating.
And turns them into a narrative.
That we can understand and act on.
It's powerful stuff.
And now, for the really mind-blowing part.
Here we go.
AI and machine learning.
The future of data
They're
analysis
changing the possibilities.
in ways we couldn't have imagined before.
We're talking about things like predictive analytics
Forecasting the future,
based on past data,
like predicting customer behavior.
sentiment analysis,
Understanding emotions and opinions from text data,
like analyzing social media posts,
and even automated insight generation.
where the AI finds the patterns for us.
It's like having a super smart data assistant
AI and machine learning can handle huge amounts of data,
at lightning speed,
finding those subtle trends that humans might miss.
giving us actionable intelligence.
And one of the sources said that machine learning can boost prediction accuracy by 30%
Wow, that's significant.
compared to traditional methods.
We're talking about a real leap forward.
And then there's sentiment analysis.
Powered by AI.
It can analyze all that unstructured text data
Social media, reviews, online comments.
and tell us whether the sentiment is positive, negative, or neutral.
This is gold for understanding brand perception,
Seeing how people are reacting to products and services.
finding areas where we can improve.
And AI isn't just about these high-level tasks,
It's also working behind the scenes,
automating all those essential but time-consuming data processes,
like data cleaning and pre-processing,
freeing up human analysts to focus on the big picture.
the strategic thinking.
And the applications are just exploding across different industries.
It's amazing how widespread it's becoming,
In healthcare, AI can predict readmission rates.
helping hospitals provide better care,
It can analyze medical images to detect diseases early
potentially saving lives,
and even help create personalized treatment plans.
tailoring treatment to each individual patient,
In finance, AI is being used for fraud detection,
protecting our money,
assessing risk,
making smarter investments,
and even powering algorithmic trading systems.
automating the stock market
And we all interact with AI every day
in ways we might not even realize,
through chatbots and virtual assistants.
making our lives easier.
And the techniques behind all of this are pretty mind-boggling.
It's complex stuff,
We've got neural networks
inspired by the human brain,
finding complex patterns in huge data sets,
decision trees, creating rule-based models,
classifying data, making predictions.
and reinforcement learning, where systems learn through trial and error.
Adapting to dynamic environments.
It's a whole new world of data analysis.
Yeah, so to see how this all plays out in the real world,
Let's look at some case studies,
the sources highlighted some really compelling examples.
starting with healthcare.
There was this hospital that used mobile surveys to get feedback from patients after they were discharged.
Interesting.
And they really put a lot of thought into the design.
They wanted to make it easy for people to use on their phones.
They kept the surveys short. The interface was user-friendly.
And they made sure it worked on different mobile devices
They were tracking key performance indicators,
related to patient experience and clinical outcomes.
and the results were amazing.
What did they see?
Patient satisfaction scores went up by 25%.
That's huge.
They were able to quickly address concerns,
And make changes based on the feedback
like providing better discharge instructions.
and improving communication.
And even more importantly, readmission rates dropped by 10%.
That's impressive.
They used the survey data to identify high-risk patients
And intervene early,
with things like follow-up calls and home visits.
preventing them from ending up back in the hospital,
Data-driven healthcare.
making a real difference.
And then there was the retail case study.
Oh yeah, tell me about that one.
This national chain used data visualization
To analyze their sales trends.
and optimize their inventory.
Smart move.
They used heat maps to see peak shopping times.
And areas of high interest in the stores.
They had dashboards to monitor sales performance.
Across different regions and product categories.
And they could see what products were frequently bought together.
So many insights.
And they used all of this to make better decisions.
About everything from product placement to promotions.
Even staffing levels.
It's all connected.
And their sales went up by 15%.
That's a big jump.
But it didn't stop there.
What else did they do?
They used the data to forecast demand more accurately.
Leading to better inventory management.
Less overstocking, fewer stockouts.
Happy customers, happy business.
Exactly. Their inventory costs went down by 8%.
That's huge.
And by visualizing purchase patterns,
They were able to personalize their marketing.
boosting customer loyalty.
It's all about understanding your customers.
So these case studies show the real-world impact.
These technologies are not just theoretical.
They're making a difference.
And the future is even more exciting.
The sources talked about some emerging trends.
What's on the horizon?
The integration of IoT devices,
The Internet of Things.
generating a flood of real-time data,
From all sorts of sources.
giving us a more comprehensive view.
Of everything.
Augmented reality for data visualization,
Wow, that's cool.
immersing ourselves in the data,
Seen in a whole new way,
and blockchain technology for data integrity and security.
keeping our data safe.
It feels like you're just scratching the surface.
So much potential.
And the sources emphasize that embracing these technologies is key
If you want to stay ahead of the curve,
for data-driven decision-making,
achieving data excellence.
maintaining a competitive edge,
It's about unlocking new insights,
driving efficiency.
fostering innovation.
So let's recap what we've learned.
All right, key takeaways.
Mobile surveys have revolutionized data collection.
Faster, wider reach, better quality,
Data visualization turns raw data into meaningful insights,
telling the story behind the numbers.
and AI and machine learning are transforming analysis.
Predicting the future, uncovering hidden patterns,
These technologies are all intertwined.
essential for making informed decisions in today's world.
And understanding these shifts
Give you a framework for navigating the information overload.
makes sense of the chaos.
So, here's a final thought for you.
Okay.
As these technologies keep evolving,
At breakneck speed.
what new possibilities do you see emerging?
For how we understand the world through data.
It's a question worth pondering,
Absolutely. And as data becomes even more central to our lives,
which it inevitably will.
what role do you see yourself playing?
In this data-driven world,
Are you contributing to the data?
or interpreting it.
Or both?
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It really is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Stay